fairly lengthy agenda, so let's get started. I'd like to call the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the August meeting in Town of Carroll to order. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Keebley.
Here.
Mr. Eric Jones.
Here.
Mr. Eric Smith.
Here.
Ms. Beth Lawson.
Here.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson.
Here.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson.
Here.
Mayor Stixberry.
Here. We do have a full house tonight. Mr. Wallace, would you say your opening prayer for us, please?
Father, we thank you for your grace and love for each of our lives, and Father, for a wonderful day you've given us today. Father, for this business that the mayor and council will look at, we ask you for insight and wisdom, ask you for uncommon wisdom. Help us, Father, to do those things that meet the needs of others. And Father, we ask you to guide us in all we do. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Frank. Okay, give everybody a few minutes to look over the minutes of the July meeting. Not too many. Teresa just went looking for you.
For me?
So she'll be back just a minute. I didn't know if you forgot or not. She'll be back just a minute. That time you went out, you can. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Everybody satisfied with what you see? All right, do I hear a motion that we approve the minutes as presented?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Take the pick. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, citizens input. Anyone? Yes, sir, go ahead. I think Mr. Wallace is going to address your
Yes,
issue.
he is.
Okay, that's fine. He'll address your issue here shortly, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Communication from the mayor. Got a couple, three things. The Hardys at 141. I am assuming, I don't know anything for sure, but I don't see how it should go far past 1st of September in opening up. I was up there Friday, and it looks like they're pretty close.
They've had 3 job fairs.
Oh.
So,
From what I saw, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot left
okay.
to have it. I mean, I'm assuming probably September 1st time. I don't know anything for certain, but I don't see how it could take much more than a couple more weeks. They should be, I think, pretty much close to being ready. Also, the dialysis center over here on the hill, they are they're moving dirt. They've got the footers dug. They may have poured concrete today. I don't know, but they're ready to pour concrete. They've got a couple of partial retaining walls up around the edges, so they're making progress there. And if I want to give Tessa, our coach person, a pat on the back, give her an atta girl. I believe that if somebody is doing a good job, we need to recognize them. Have you noticed the old bar over here is being torn down?
Yes.
It's being torn down. I think it's being torn down, and there's an issue over on Elkins Road is being addressed. It's being cleaned up. Just in general, there's several things that's being taken care of. I think she's done fantastic job so far, and Lisa's done a good job too. But, like I said, things are looking up. They are, things are starting to, things are getting cleaned up that need to be cleaned up. So that's basically all I've got. Financial report. Ms. Teresa?
For the town of Carrollville for the month of July 2017, in our general fund, for $566,380.84. Reserve for special fire protection fees, $104,260.62. Reserve for rainy day fund, $45,000. Adjusted general fund balance, $417,120.22. And our State Street Aid Fund, $63,973.58. And our Industrial Fund, $868.89. And our Drug Fund, $10,874.32. And our revenue for the month of July, $131,146.15. Our expenditures is $88,265.71, leaving us a difference of $42,880.44. And it's been a pretty good month.
Yes, and we are at 6% in the budget. One thing that may jump out at some of y'all is the planning and zoning at 33%. That is our quarterly payment. That came out first quarter. So that's the reason that one is at 33%. Everything else is basically in line of where we should be. And as of last year, well, we'll get on into that in a minute. I started jumping the gun on myself. Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept or approve the financial report as given?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Reports from council members, Mr. Lawson.
Street and Sanitation Department picked up 54 tons of garbage, 3 ton recycling, 6 ton of brush. They mowed throughout the city and picked up brush throughout the city. They rock lined the ditches at the Cove Circle and fixed slide at Ridge Road and Lakeview Road. Cleaned up Main Street, cleaned ditches out on Ivy Lane and Hill Lane, and used 6 ton of hot mix to repair some bad places on the roads. And the Rogers Group repaved the road on the mountain. I hope you all had a chance to look at it, but I wasn't pleased with it myself.
Really?
The repave?
Well, what is a patch? I call it.
Well, I think we was hoping for a complete redo.
Yeah,
But-
but what they done looked like quality work. Didn't it, David? What they done looked good, but we've got, 10 joints in that now?
Yeah.
So, if we have a bad winter and that water gets in there, we'll too.
Well-
When they messed that up, when they done it last year, they said they would make it right with us.
And we still got the letter to that
I think they
effect.
still have a letter, I think they might even have a copy of it.
Yeah, we've got a letter to that effect. So
If we have a bad winter, we can tell what the road's gonna do.
that's probably gonna be the best indicator this winter.
It's
My question would be, what's the time frame on they're gonna make it right? I mean, if it gets a problem, what if it goes after 1 year? Do they have to maintain it after 1 year?
What do they want to do on that, David? Do you know?
You know, the bid is good for a year. The work, what is their work there?
Unless it's written to the contract, it's good faith, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 30 days, basically, I guess.
30 days?
It'll be just good faith, like Eric was saying. I think that they would make it right, I really do. They want our business,
Right.
and
Right.
so winter comes and we got problems, then I think they'll make it right.
Okay.
Well, if worst thing could happen is him not make us happy, and then that gives them a bad rep, bad rep, and no business wants that, so. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. It's a good question. We'll wait to see what, like I said, if any kind of indicator will be this winter. If we have a normal winter, we'll know if it holds up.
The work they done, the repaving that they done, it's pretty.
It looks good. It looks pretty good.
David even said even on the tack, they even made it down heavy on the tack on it. So hopefully it'll stay together. It won't come apart.
No time will tell.
What's your opinion of that, Eric?
So I'm the same way you all, I mean, just to look at it, they went a little wider than what we initially planned in, so you kind of got a couple inches to each side, and still yet, wintertime will tell. If we have a winter like we had last year, you don't have no issues, but years past, we all know what the mountain does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, we'll have to see, that's a wait and see deal.
And I like to tell David and the guys at the street department, thank them for the work they did do over on Main Street. I know when it's brought to my attention, I called down here, and on social media, unfortunately, a lot of times is where we get information spread about and passed along to the public. I don't know if it's just you still got that, don't want to come here afraid to say something to somebody. I mean, my door's always open for anything instead of taking to other means to make a point be known. And David, and actually had already addressed it at the time we got to tell them about it. Looked good and had people compliment on it. It's just to the public itself, doors always open here at City Hall. Complaints or whatever you need, just drop by and leave them a message, and be more than glad to work with the public.
And everybody knows my phone number. I answer a lot. I don't care a bit. That's what we're here for. Okay.
That was it for me.
All right. Thank you. Dwayne, Police Department?
Yes. Town of Carrollville, Police Department report for the month of July. We patrolled 10,725 miles. We answered 338 complaints. Out of the complaints, we had, overall, we had 9 arrests. We had 47 citations, 5 drug arrests, and we had 36 accidents. And that is it for the police report.
Been busy. Miss Beth? Library?
For the library, we had 904 items checked out, 816 items checked in. There were 388 ebooks checked out. They added 12 new people and deleted none. They added 39 items. They had 172 computer users. They loaned and borrowed 9 items. They held 1 children's program, which was their Harry Potter event. There were 73 people in attendance, and then the total library attendance was 473.
I'd like to add a little bit that I was lucky enough to be here for the Harry Potter event, and it was an outstanding program. I would love to see more of that in the future. Just the kids and the adults. You can tell they're all just thrilled to be here. And Logan, you did a really excellent job with that program.
And I've had a lot of comments, compliments. People has told me how great it was. So, and I'm still amazed our little library has that many people and that much activity. It's just
amazing.
It's amazing. What was it, Beth? 473 people.
473 in July.
And that's amazing. This little small library has that much usage, but that's great. That's great. All right. Mr. Smith, fire department.
Last month, we had 3 auto accidents with injury and 1 accident without injury. Had 5 vehicle fires. The mutual aid was given once and we received it twice. Had 2 tractor trailer fires. total of 15 calls, for a total of 155 man-hours. But also with the 2 firemen that's completed everything that's been requested for the part-time we budgeted for, we was able to get some residents, had some smoke detectors installed, and some maintenance work has been done in the tile and ceilings of the fire department. And I think they've got almost all the hydrants we needed from the east side of the interstate. We're starting to work over here on this side. They've got some of these done here, so got a few more there. Like I said, it's all part-time and just a few hours a week. You can go next door and see a difference in it already. And like I said, the big thing is being out there with them in the public. It's like a smoke detector. It's something so simple but can mean so much to so many people. These guys are more welcome to it, and the public's knowledge that they need one, we'll set them one up for them.
Do the people want to see if they need one, they just need to call in.
Call here and leave a message for Eddie, and we'll put it on the board for them. Be somebody to make contact when they're there.
If people ask me about it, I told them just, one thing I know to do is just call and make a list.
Like I said, and some people would rather have somebody install it for them, and these guys are good, but if they'd rather install it themselves, just work something out, give them to them. And also set up a landing zone for livestock twice.
So it's been busy for police and fire this month. Of course, it's typical summertime, it's time to be busy. All right. I hear a motion, we approve all reports from the members.
Make the motion.
I say,
All in favor, say aye. Okay. Any old business? Okay. Okay, new business?
We'd like to add one to the agenda.
Okay.
I'd like to have number 12, discussion of the fire department's four-wheel drive pickup. Board was approved. Unit 5, four-wheel drive.
Okay.
Utility vehicle.
Okay. Is that in form of a motion, sir?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second? Second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye to adding this to the agenda. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now, I would like to add one myself. At the end, unlucky 13, that's not good, is it? At the end of our regular meeting, I'm going to call an executive session with Mr. Wallace and our city attorney. It shouldn't take too awful long, but there's a couple of issues we need to discuss with those two folks. That's I make that motion, we add that, and that we have a executive session.
Second motion.
Discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson? Yes. Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Tewksbury?
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank everybody. All right, now here we go. Number one, Mr. Wallace to discuss drainage issue on Mountain Road at Hickory Lane. Mr. Frank.
Thank you, Mayor. Take a moment to pass this there.
Sir?
We have any other newspaper? We've been working with the mayor and David on these projects in particular. There's actually three. There's the one down on Maple Street we're going to look at, show you where we're at. If you can take your clip off and look at the first one, there's three photographs where we look at first the problem and then the solution. First photograph is at Hickory and Mountain Road. Shows you, now this is back on the Carroll side of the mountain. You're looking up at Hickory Lane where it turns in. The water flows down to, you see where the garbage container is there? It stops there, and can't pass coming back to where we're standing. If you flip to the next photograph, this is back where the first photograph was taken. As you see, the water can't go uphill there. It stops and ponds, it goes across the road to the neighbor. And if you look at the third one, the third photograph shows you a little closer about what that looks like and where a tile needs to be placed. If you flip over to the solution, if you look at your drawing, you'll see that we need to install, and the area where the blue is where the area is coming down, the water's coming down to that area and stopping and going across on the neighbor. See the two little wiggle lines going across? Well, that's the water going over on the neighbor. Now, if we set the tile, a 15-inch, this is HDPE pipe, it flows the equivalent of 18-inch. Or you get 15, you get too high, it'll come out of the ground. And so if we lay that 180 feet and then daylight it down into the extreme on the other side, it'll take care of that problem. So we've looked at that extensively. David was up there with us as well. And that looks to be the solution, and we've looked at it a number of times, and it needs to be done because the water is standing there, stagnant to start with, but when it's raining, basically what we got Saturday, in the last several days, we got 2.2 inches in less than 45 minutes. Same thing again. So that's the solution, and with your permission, we'll repair that.
I make a
How much?
motion. I make a motion that we, retire this and put this cover in.
I second that on the motion.
Now, this is done under the stormwater program,
The
Frank?
stormwater problem, storm sewer water program.
Okay, all right. Okay, have a motion and second. Do we have any discussion on this issue before we vote?
Man, did you see this map?
No,
Is
I didn't
this
see
part
it.
of yours?
No,
No.
mine starts in front of Eric's where the water comes under the road. It goes down the holler, but when it gets down there, there's no creek, it just levels out and waters are coming through under our fence and washing our backyard out.
Will this not take care
No,
of?
he's, and what we're doing here, we'll do that at the same time while we're up there. I shared with him on the phone, we talked
Right.
several times on the
Yes.
phone, I shared with him what we would do when we came up there.
Okay.
So with that, we'll be able to do it in the same process.
Okay.
Where's the water, you know where Ronnie's house is at? Ronnie,
Sir?
you know where Ronnie lives at?
Yeah,
On the south, on this side of Ronnie's, where's that water coming from right there during the big heavy rains?
you mean down the holler there?
It's on down from it.
It's coming down from your house where you put in that tile under the road, and you put in another driveway and it's just shooting it all down in there and it's flat. There ain't no creek down there, but the creek starts again down behind Ronnie's, but it's coming on over and they're washing under our fence. And then a washing brush and splitter stuff up under against the fence on right next to Ronnie.
See, the one I'm talking about is coming off from Overlook, is where I was thinking this is coming from. I don't know if that's where that slide was at. It's in that little mud slide that we had last time up there, brought that one in. There's another stream coming off on down the holler or somewhere or other. And it's one of these big rain events, but
Now, there's one that goes under the road when you first turn down on the road.
that may be it there.
It's, I thought it went down there and just went over the bluff line.
Well, that may be it, because it's coming back over the bluff there, what I'm talking about. There's no way for any of that water to make it back up around that way from what Mac's talking about.
I wouldn't think so.
See,
It
that
would have to go
tile,
uphill.
that tile got replaced 2008,
Which one there?
100 Mountain Road,
Uh,
2007, 2008.
It was before, it was 2004. We paid in 2004, 2005, we done it before we paid the tile there,
Is
that's your place going under the road there?
that's actually a bigger tile than was in there once before.
What are you?
What you're talking about-
Ditch that around through there?
We've got to shoot it in and see what the old right of way was.
We'll do that.
That'd be rock line in there.
See, typically this time of year though, that little spring there at my house will be dried up, but this year, it's still running down the hall.
That, I mean, I don't see that create a problem because the waters always went through there, whether the tiles there or not, right there. You know, which ran into that same tile and went down there. That tile ends down there about the shed at the, where they park the cars, right?
Yes, it comes underneath Mabel's carport. I
Yeah,
believe.
and it ends right in there somewhere.
And-
And years, they were they laid out ditch, was it done, just got full and turned out onions?
I don't know, it comes down on Vicky, that lady there, but next to Mabel, and it gets down in the, right down at the bottom of the hill there, it just levels out and it just flows, because there's no creek there for it to run in.
I know the.
And this, when we have hard rain, is when this happens.
And we've had that.
And we sure have.
So you're gonna address that, Frank?
Yes.
There?
We're gonna swell that like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we swell it, we sod it, so it doesn't disturb the vegetation.
Great.
So that should take care of that problem.
That hydrant that's right there, and it's a 6-inch line, I believe, is going through there, and that ditch, that you're talking about putting across Hickory. That hydrant right there, right past Hickory Lane, y'all check it, you've got some, it's moved. Concrete's actually broken in it, and
Okay.
so there's been some line movement somewhere through there.
All right. Okay.
I noticed the weed eating kind of popped up, and you got the valve that sits in there. It's just kind of
Our
that
hydrants
line.
getting well along their way in, that's all.
Do I?
Our hydrants tend to get in the way of lawn.
No, I keep this one weeded so they don't get it.
The county pipe.
Yeah, I keep an eye on this one.
Okay.
I keep track
All right,
of
we'll
it.
do that. Okay.
Okay, any more discussion on this issue? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberg?
Yes, motion carries. Frank, number 2.
Okay, next one is over on Pike Lane off Smith Road. If you'll look, you're standing on Pike Lane and you're looking down between the Smith houses on the left and the Cross houses on the, the Cross house on the left is in the first photograph, and Smith is on the right. You're looking down to the area in the back. And the next picture, number 2, is on down there and shows a swag. But if you flip over to the third photograph, you see that there's a dam area there that's keeping the water from going out of that ponding area onto the area that is a natural swell in photograph number 4. So if you open that up and look at the solution, we got 2 pages. One was taken with a view to show you what the area that collects the water. From Wood Circle up there, the water flows down and it comes through these properties and comes through an 8-inch culvert there. Then it goes down to a ponding area. See the ponding area in blue? The ponding area at that point is stopped by an obstruction, which is a natural drain. That's there, and it's been stopped. And so at that point, if you flip over to the next graph, you'll see it is the blown up section of Pike Lane. You see more clearly where the water comes through. You see where photograph 1, 2, 3, and 4 are coming through from the picture. See where it stops? Well, the area that we need to do is open a channel there where it proposed channel cut and allow it to get into the swale. The natural swale goes right through there, down, and goes on down and goes into Bruce Creek. So it naturally does, it's just obstructed. And so, City Hall, the mayor, has received a number of calls. So have David and Lloyd, and both residents have spoken with us. And so we've spoken with everybody, and everybody's really excited about getting that swamp taken care of. So with your permission, we can do that under the stormwater program. But we do have sewer lines there as well as into it.
I'll make a motion that we take the steps to fix that. Frank just told us.
Okay. Mayor, second? Second. Discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. All right, Frank, your proposal for number 3?
Yes, now, number 3 is an update on where we are with the water that flows down the railroad track near Central Baptist Church. And if you look in the first 2 photographs, you're looking down toward Lake City or Rocky Top, looking in that direction, and you're seeing the flow of the water, and you're looking up on the other side, and you see it's coming along the side of the railroad track. And if you look at the second photograph, this is where it turns, the water is collected on both sides and goes underneath on down to Maple Street. So that's what the photograph is showing at that point. Now, if you look at the map on the other side, we're doing a geotechnical study of the flow of the water, the amount of water. We're draining a 71.79 acre area. And if you look at your blue line, you can see that it's running right along the railroad track down to where Central Baptist Church is, going through the tunnel onto Maple Street. And if you see the red square there, that's where Mr. Kitt's property is. And so what we're doing is looking to see the total amount collected, the total amount of detention dams that need to be built to slow that water down and let it go through like it ought to, and the amount of culverting that needs to be done. So at this point, I want to give you an update where we're at. The mayor had talked with me and asked if we would look at that, and we have sent, it was an issue that came before you to town previously, and we will let you know where we are with that process. This is a long process because it does entail railroad track and railroad company. So we are looking at in a way to bring a recommendation to you of how what we need to do with the solution. And with that, that's me an update.
All
So
right.
we're not far enough along to even make a motion on this.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for,
Now, I just have to ask, because I'm not really for sure, is this is the one that the water was coming down the road the other day and it was going under his fence into his yard?
yes.
Is there not something already dug over on that side of the road, like a ditch line or something?
We put a swell in previously when Brenda received water years ago. And it has worked wonderfully all these years. The utility has done nothing to add water to it, nor the town has done nothing to add water to it. It is a railroad issue. They cleaned all that area, which released that water and took any damming up that allowed it to trickle through. And that's what's happened at this point. And so, once we get through, we'll bring a solution to it. But yes, you're correct, that's where it's coming from.
Okay, I was just making sure because I did see the pictures of all the water the other day coming down through there. And I wasn't, for sure of how it was getting there. I thought there was something already dug over there. And I think somebody mentioned that somebody had been digging over on that side or something is what caused it. I
Now,
don't
we
know.
prevented them from digging.
Mhm.
They wanted to put that stream underwater, and we met the state there and protested vigorously on behalf of the town of Carroll, and the state denied the permit. So there's been no digging, and the state honored the town's request, and I represented the town. And Tim Shaw and I represented the town in that meeting.
So this is more of a railroad issue than anything.
But yes, we need to help them make a decision.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Right. Well, what I was gonna ask is how cooperative, because I've never dealt with.
I think they'll be very cooperative.
I just like to have the information out there. Like I said, I'm still new to the game.
Sure.
But this is my question though, and I'm sure it's the people that live there too, is like right now it's pouring the rain outside. And he probably wants a fix right now. He probably doesn't want his house flooded like it did the other day or whatever. So is there no short-term fix for this? Or anything that we can do to help alleviate the water that's going on this man's property?
There's no short-term fix. It's gonna, these are rain events that are highly unusual. These are flash floods. We've had significant rain events. We had a 2-day 9.1 inch rain. It did not affect it. It is an instantaneous 30-minute, 3.1-inch rains that day.
Right.
So that's what's happening, and that's unusual. That's, quote, acts of God and those things that we need to do, which are actually a flash flood. And so we're doing everything to prevent it. If you've noticed, all across the towns, in the town of Carroll, we had horrific areas. We have repaired them all, and we don't have an issue with it. And we're going to do the same thing here, as quickly as we can get it done appropriately. But we cannot go over and do anything on the railroad without their permission and cooperation. And it'll have to be at the request of the town. And we'll do that as quick as we can. And we work with Mr. Kitts. It's constantly ongoing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mac, you got any questions?
No, sir.
You good?
All right. Number 2, discuss help in the library. Logan? Can you explain this, ma'am?
I don't really know where to begin, I'm sorry. I've been needing some help in the library just because even though, we don't have as much foot traffic as other libraries, there is still a lot of work to be done as far as reports. And then, like the Harry Potter event, I want to plan more programming for the library, and it's hard for me to pay attention for stuff like that, especially when patrons are asking for more stuff like that, when I'm also doing cataloging and keeping up with Facebook and keeping up with our website and phone calls. I've had at least 20 phone calls today about the eclipse. Actually our foot traffic is getting higher because today is a Monday, and typically my average since I started has been about 20 to 35 people tops, and today I had 45. So we are growing. Also, it would be good to have some help to stay open the extra day of the week. We close 1 day a week, and actually the state requires that libraries stay open at least 5 days a week, and if it continues to not stay open, we can lose funding from the state. And so that was something else that's a concern. So if we could have somebody 1-2 days a week, because some of the funds that are there for Robin aren't being used right now, temporarily until she decides if she's coming back and when she can come back. That'd be a great help.
Which I think this is a great idea. I mean, and I haven't really spoken with Logan about this, but we did kind of throw Logan in there.
We did kind of throw her to the wolves, we really did.
We did. I mean, which everything happened all of a suddenly
It
with
couldn't be
Robin,
helped. It couldn't
right?
be.
I mean, and you have done a fantastic job. I mean, let me just say that you really have. So I really think that it would be a good idea to hire somebody to help her, which she was supposed to be Robin's help, but now she needs help. So I think it would be a good idea to try to find somebody.
Or at least 1 day a week, if not, maybe 2.
Might as well say 2.
Yeah.
Or even find somebody, if we're not paying Robin at all while she's off, even find somebody to work, part-time, as needed.
I was going to be greedy. So
So,
any amount of help would be grateful. Just, the important thing is making sure that library does stay open an extra day a week. I have to run errands sometimes to get supplies, and I did have a patron get upset the other day because I had to close the doors in order to go get those supplies, and he was upset that when I came back that the doors were closed. So just little things like that. Just any help would be great.
Well, like I've said before, I still am amazed at the traffic that this library gets, and I'm with Beth. If we can, there's no reason why we can't do this, and she needs the help, and I'll entertain a motion that we will
Part-time help.
advertise for part-time help as needed. Is as needed? Is that what?
I'll make the motion to hire her some part-time help in the library as needed.
Yeah, just you and Teresa can work up something to put in the newspaper just to advertise. I would almost put as needed instead of, like 1 day a week or something. And then when we interview, we can just tell them, you know, the situation and everything. It may be easier to find somebody to work, you know, as needed as opposed to somebody that you're gonna say, well, these are the only days I need you here, or I only need you here 1 day a week or something. So just you and Teresa come up with something to put in the paper and we'll advertise and get you somebody. Because with Robin's situation, we really don't know, you know, when she will be able to come back.
Last time I talked to her, she's gonna start her treatments, and her doctor recommended that she not do anything until that's over.
She'll
And
be
it's-
gone at least another 3 months.
Yeah, another 3 months at least.
Okay, yeah, see, so that would be, you know, we can at least tell them that during the interview, that.
Okay. All right, that's a form of motion. You second the motion, Beth?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beebler?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Number 3, the council discuss approval of resolution for tasers. Brian is not with us. Also, I spoke today with Kathy about this issue, and she has got some more documentation that she would like to talk to the chief with, and I'd like to table this until next month's meeting. Is that all right with everybody? Okay.
Yes.
All right, number 4, council discuss discuss budget item generator on Walnut Mountain. Mr. Smith?
Now, this is a budgeted item that we actually budgeted this for this year. I think I actually brought up last year, but actually put in the budget for this year. It's $18,000 that is split for the county, Jacksboro, and the county 3 ways. This is to cover the repeaters used by the police department, fire department. And the one up there had to be replaced. And this is the third of the bill, but like I said, we've actually budgeted this. I know the price falls into our policy to bring before the board, and that's the reason why, is because of the amounts on it.
Yeah, this is our third.
That's what it is. Y'all have heard it mentioned time and time again, generator on Walnut Mountain for 911. Other part of the bill. Any other questions on it?
$18,000. That's the total cost. It's pretty good. And this is our cost, and it's gonna be half of the
Yeah, that comes out of, half come out of the fire department, half come out of the police department. But I think it's LP. I won't talk to Walnut Man. It's not natural gas. I'm 99% sure it's LP. That's for our communications.
I would like to make a formal motion to pay the bill.
I'll second the motion to pay the bill.
Any discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beebler?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Number 5, council discuss applying for recycling grant for recycling truck, Mr. Lloyd.
Yeah, me and they've been talking about getting what was that, do you know what that percentage was, that 80/20?
Yeah, there's a recycling grant out there for equipment. It's an 80/20. You see, all that recycling truck, light truck life or something like that, you'll see charge. I did get a couple of quotes, and they run around $100,000 for $6.
It's basically it's the smallest garbage type truck that you can get. It would compact the recycle, I assume, David. You compact it, then take it to the county. It's an 80/20. I mean, all we're doing is just voting we can apply. you know, we may not even, just to,
I'll make a motion to apply for the grant for recycling.
I'll second.
it's big. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson? Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Council discussed ATV Festival. I think, Beth, you wanted to, oh, I'm sorry,
Me and
Dwayne?
Dwayne both.
Okay, both of us. Whichever one wants to.
The ATV festival is coming up, October 14th.
2 months from today.
And the reason I wanted to bring it up about the festival was a donation to the festival. The city of Caryville benefits tremendously from these events, the ATVs. I think the actual per year, the ATVs that come in to our county brings in like $21.2 million. And I'd like to donate $2,500.
We need to have a presence is what we're trying to do. With us donating money, like they're having shirts made up that they'll sell or give away.
Yes.
Our name will be like a corporate sponsor, so anything that goes out, like on their social media page, they'll have a big sign on the stage the day of, and stuff like that to show that the city of Caryville is a part of the event.
Not unlike we do the Blue.
Yeah,
Well, you know, we are a part of the ATV recreational area now.
Yes.
And I think it's only benefits everybody if we do participate, show that we do support it.
Yes.
Because like you said, I talked to Jimmy Jeffries last week, and he said that they had been calling around just checking and seeing the motels and stuff. The Comfort Inn that weekend is booked solid. Holiday Inn Express has a lot of rooms booked for that weekend. The Hampton has a few rooms booked. I mean, it benefits all of us.
and I know Ride Royal Blue's not in the city of Caryville, but it's booked that weekend too.
Yeah, every campsite she's got full. And you know, that only, especially the 141, that exit up there, they get a lot of business from Ride Royal Blue.
There's a lot of, I've been talking to some ATVers that here and there, they are actually pulling away from a couple other areas and venturing into our area here in Campbell County,
Okay.
And I had
which
spoke with
Caryville
Mr.
is a big part of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I mean, I have spoke with Jimmy too, about maybe even setting up a table. If we had like pamphlets or whatever, you know, advertising the city of Caryville or anything like that, it would be good to kind of set up a booth, to just kind of showcase Caryville and what we have, you know, things like that. So that's kind of, you know, iffy if we want to do have a tent set up and things like that.
I think we should, because everybody comes through here, has to come right through Caryville.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, they do.
I mean, even if we just had like a booth set up that said, you know, the town of Caryville with like pictures, or we had like pamphlets or flyers to hand out, a bottle of water that has a sticker across it that says compliments of the city of
Yeah.
Caryville or something like that, just to let people know, yeah, when you come into this town, you come through Caryville, you know, that's Caryville. Because according to a lot of people up north, you're going to La Follette. When you get off this exit, you're in La Follette. I mean, they think that. So I mean, we need to make a presence. And then that way, I know we've spoke before about maybe trying to do a spring festival down here. I mean, you would get those people, you know, interested in where we are, who we are.
I think it only is, to me, it's like Patrick mentioned, Louis Bluey, it's a win-win. That could come out of, that's tourism. Is that in the form of motion?
I make a motion that we donate $2,500 to the Big Creek ATV Festival.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
And we'll let you know about the booth. by next month's meeting, whether or not we're gonna have the booths up there.
Okay. Any discussion?
Tourism, handle that easily.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Keighley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Number 7, council discuss polo shirts for everyone.
All right, there again, that's me. I know, like, for instance, going to situate things like this, going to the Louis Louis Festival. I know there are a couple days, we had a couple meetings in, with the governor coming, then VSH. I went to a planning commission meeting in Farragut. I just think it would be a good idea if we bought some shirts that had, you know, Town Caravel on it and things like that for everybody to have. That way, if they do want to wear them out in public, they can.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe 2 apiece. I don't know. You know me, I'm a woman, I like clothes, so.
Are you profiling yourself?
There you go. I just need something new to wear.
But I agree when, like, I know Teresa and Laura has training.
Logan does.
Yeah, Logan has training in different cities, different places. And, you know, it'd be nice to people, let people know where we're from.
Right.
Be proud of where we're from. And I feel good of leaving the color selection up to the ladies, 'cause I know I'd probably pick the wrong color. So, either that or you know, whatever they decide, I'll be happy with. I learned that a long time ago. She says wear it, I'll wear it. Do I hear a
I
motion?
didn't know if it would exceed our limit, what we're allowed to spend without a vote, that's why we brought it up.
Well, that's fine. We'll go ahead and vote on it. That way we'll be sure and stuff will have to be covered. Is that in form of a motion?
I'll make a motion if you want.
I'll make everything.
Okay.
I made it, he seconded.
Okay.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Keighley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries, and they do have a, Lloyd's got it now. Put your size down. She's got a list. All right, the council discussed lobby furniture. I guess, sorry, Teresa? Get my names mixed up. All right, go ahead.
We've got 3 quotes for lobby furniture. The first one is the lowest quote that you see. It's in the amount of $25.19. And it's through National Business Furniture. The second one is through BizChair. These are the ones that's got some pictures, but these are the ones through National Business. We just didn't have a picture to go with that one. Of course, they're in black and white, so it's kind of hard to tell. But that second quote was $29.07. And the last quote from Newport was a lot higher, it was $3,800. So the National Business Furniture is the lower rate. And in that, you get 2 vinyl love seats, 1 oversized guest chair, 2 standard guest chairs, and 1 end table. And they are vinyl, so they're easy to clean, easy to wipe down. And the colors, you know, we thought maybe a navy or a burgundy would look good out in the lobby.
Lifetime guarantee.
And yes,
Well, we've been discussing furniture out there for a while now, and especially since we've had the floor and all this stuff painted, I think it's time we get something.
It's time we do, I agree.
Yeah, that's budgeted as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's,
We did.
yeah, we would budget extra money for that.
and that couch is, maybe got is that?
Sure, I don't know, I don't even know where it came
The
from.
couch.
I don't know where it came from either.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. I hear a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to buy the furniture.
Second motion.
The 2519 from National Business. Okay.
Yes.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Peavy?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. All right, number 9, council discuss bid on salt spreader and snow plow. I assume this is for the F-250 pickup. Mr. Lawson.
Is that what you just get one bid on that?
Yes.
Yeah. 10,000, 920,000, was that the one you wanted today?
Now, that was, we budgeted what, 11, 12, 11? I mean, that's the budget amount. We budgeted a little more than that, but that's under the budget. That's under the budget amount that we did, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we purchase this.
Okay.
Second.
Question, David, they had to give you a time frame?
2 weeks on getting it in, and, the spreader, I'll be assembling and putting on myself, the blade, they'll do it, but the blade's a day or two. So
Okay, I mean, I'm just, I know it's August, but next thing you know, it's gonna be cold weather. I just wanna be sure that this one of them things that may take 3-4 months to get it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right, that's the question I have.
When you plan on using it first time? What's the first snow gonna be on it? What day?
It's like last year.
You just push leaves out around the nose.
That'll be next Monday, we've already planned a snow day.
Solid.
Okay, Lloyd, you made the motion?
I did.
Who made the second? Okay, any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Peavy?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson? Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Number 10, council discuss LED interstate lights. Now, that is something that Lloyd, David, and myself had discussed. David, can you explain, you want me to, or you want to? Go ahead, whichever one you want to do.
Go ahead.
Okay, you kind of help me with the number. These lights have been up now, David, how long?
The exit,
Yeah, 2005, 6, 7, my first term, somewhere in that. Anyway, what this is, the single pole lights, the heads on those are notoriously for going bad. Now, a new head for those is like what, they almost $500?
this old style head.
Yeah.
Is 400, we have 10 lights worked on in March. And, the bulbs and the lights, we spent $6,000 in March. All right, we've already got 3 out now. These other lights are not lasting. So, the LED light is $746. $464 for the head, $180 for a bulb on the other. Difference we're spending is $97 more for LED light to replace on the poles.
How many lights do we have?
There's 9. We've done 1, and there's 2 more ordered, so actually there would be 6 left to do. Now, what we're just gonna do is if a head's out, go ahead and put the LED in, but if it's just a bulb, put a bulb in it until a head goes out. The head goes out, and replace it with a LED.
Just do a conversion as needed.
Yeah, it's not a one-time everything deal. It's as one goes out, if, like you said, the head goes out, replace the head. Now, with LEDs, the life expectancy of an LED plus the electricity usage
Right.
over
So,
time.
we're gonna buy, or you want to buy all the lights at once and,
No, just.
or as needed?
Just as needed, as
Okay.
when the heads go bad.
And also, he found out, I was concerned about the big cluster lights. I'm thinking, oh Lord, how much would the head be for them? But David said that the company that's replacing, our repair people, said they make an LED bulb that will go in that head on our big tall lights. So, that you're getting
He's still working on
a
that.
price. So the head don't have to be changed, just the bulb, which that's a good thing. So, I think it, like I said, as needed, it's not a real big upfront, it's just along. It may take 2 or 3 years to get everything switched over a long period. But in that time period, with the longevity of the bulb and the electricity usage of the LED, we'll save money in the long run.
Yeah, and you get a lot brighter light too, just
Well, after dark, if everybody knows, the middle one on the southbound exit ramp, you can really tell the difference between that one light and the others. If it's right in the middle of the other two, you can really tell a big difference. So that was just for information. But probably it wouldn't hurt to have a motion that we start to do this, go through this process to convert over as needed.
I'll make a motion that we change these light heads as needed to LED.
Second.
Discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Number 11, council to approve first reading of ordinance number 2017-07, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2016, ending June 30th, 2017. This happens every year. This is where you can't budget for every possible thing. Things happen during the year that you have to spend money on that's not, maybe a little, it's over budget here, that's, out of the realm of whatever. I mean, this has been done every year it's done every year. This is clean, it cleans up last year's budget, makes everything finalized, where everything's balanced and right. So it's basically just accounting. So it's what it is. Am I correct? Okay.
We're cleaning it up before the auditor comes.
Yeah, before the auditor comes, this gets everything that they need to see before the audit gets here.
And this just shows where we had made those adjustments.
Okay. Like I said, you can't budget for every possible scenario of stuff going on. So do I hear a motion we approve ordinance number 2017-07 on first reading?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Beth Lawson? Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. All right, first added item, number 12, discussion of Fire Department Unit 5 utility vehicle, Mr. Smith.
The pickup we bought, some units remember, 4 years ago, $20,000 we had in, we got one from Kentucky. We've had issue after issue, it's actually out of service as we speak now. Front end's some issues on it that we've had suspension issues, electrical issues, and it starts hopefully when you order. We've had to repair shop after repair shop, different places, different people look at it. But going forward, with the plans that we have, with rescue equipment stuff, and in order to keep every truck that we have firefighting capable, what we need to put on that truck, dependability comes to play. We're not dependable with it. And it's still in a position where we could sell it and get a decent price out of it before we get any further in debt with it for maintenance. And not making a motion tonight, but just to entertain the idea of Eddie and the assistant chief start looking into purchase of a new pickup truck for the fire department, utility wise. If you go back and look on the financial, you've got the special fire protection fees. That's actually the reason why that was put onto the maintenance, hydrant maintenance fee was put into place, is for the purchase of the equipment for fire trucks. And this falls right into the spec of what that money is designated for it. And as far as making a motion, I'm not making a motion to purchase a truck tonight, but entertaining the council with the idea of it upcoming.
Do you think you'd get more money out of selling it or trading it in?
Probably trading it, if I was betting. Typically, you'll get more money with a trade-in than a sale.
Do you, well, I didn't know what kind of shape it was in, I don't know what it is. Do you need a standard truck like we bought for David? Or do you need a four-door truck that men can drive in?
Well, that's what we're bouncing back and forth and talking with. You'd want an extended cab, but with the equipment weight that we're coming carrying with it, you won't have to have a dually. So to match the size to what we need and what we get, that's the reason why we're entertaining the idea. So if you hear discussion going forward, that's why, what we're looking at.
Eric, for my education on this, what do you do with this unit specifically? Just general,
All.
everything?
You've got a box of checks, it's all the above, it's all the above.
Gotcha.
It's a four-wheel drive unit. We used it back in the mountains with brush fires. We use it on the interstate on fire, and you name it, it goes. But our plans are to keep it for a rescue truck, where you count out your engine being placed in on every car, so you'll decrease wear and tear on your main engine. You'll be able to roll it and still have firefighting capabilities with this truck in order for extrication. Long term down the road, that's what we look at, is keep what you got as good as you can get.
And you can use the state street aid money for that? Not
No,
that,
no.
not
Special fire.
I meant the fire thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that money is earmarked just for that purpose.
That money can only be used in the fire department.
Correct. Correct.
We discussed, with the grant coming for a new fire truck, match grant would come out of that money as well.
You would still have enough though with the match grant, because that's what I was thinking, that you would discuss something about a fire truck too.
And then even the match grant, I think is
$39,000. I don't know what that's the match of $39,000 on that grant. But even if we do get the grant on the fire truck, before this account would be, would need money out of this account, you're talking at least 18 months. Because time you get the grant, and then we have to write the specs for the truck. That's a long process, writing specs and getting everything like you want it. And then time it goes out to bid, it gets back from bid, you award the bid. And then most of the time, the last truck we bought under that, this is a monthly, comes in about every month. The manufacturer doesn't require a payment until the chassis itself is delivered to the manufacturer, puts the body on. So you're talking maybe 2 years before you would have to pay anything. And we're only talking $39,000 at the grant maximum. So by that time, if you're talking 2 years at almost $3,000 a month, we would more than have enough to cover that money. Am I correct?
Have you guys started looking for a truck yet?
we've thrown some ideas out as far as what we'd like to see, as far as set in stone, nothing's been set.
Not still in a, it's like with a big truck, you have to figure out what you really need. You gotta figure out the size you need, what your load capacity and all that's gotta be figured out and thrown around. It takes time to figure it out, it really does. And both Erics have, but both of them, both Erics have been working on David. We've all been kind of kicking stuff around, ideas. Nothing, I said nothing's on paper yet. Just trying to figure out what would be the best we could get for the money and what's needed.
Well, I was just, with the other truck we bought, it was like we voted on it this day and he went and picked it up the next.
Right.
I didn't know if it was like in the works or something.
No, that's
Talking about the,
David's pickup.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if you already had something laid out and ready.
No.
So we're still discussing on whether to have a slide-in tank or a compressed air system tank. And
I'm all
there's
for
so many variables that
You just
go
take,
out there all at once. You can't do it.
and that's why that fire protection fee was instituted just for stuff like this. And it doesn't affect our bottom line general fund because it's set aside.
In the way they're talking to, buying a chassis and then a bed and putting it together is cheaper as opposed to having that style truck custom made. Would save a lot of money as well, so.
Yeah, anything you have made like that is astronomical.
You can get a custom truck made that's over 100,000, that is like half the cost, or it's a lot less to do it, yeah. So,
And Frank was involved with it when we went with that hydrant maintenance fee, and it's, the main purpose of it was release burden on the city.
That's correct.
Funds.
Yeah, it's an independent money escrow for the fire department for its vehicles, any maintenance that they need to use. It's limited, but yet it's broad to the fire department.
And its main purpose was, at that time, was release burden from the city.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that just for informational?
That's just entertaining the council of discussion.
Okay. All right. That concludes our business. Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Okay, take about a 10-minute recess, and we're gonna have an executive session starting in about 10 minutes.